Hey everybody. I got some questions. Some people asked me some questions since my post onto the Corncob Nation and about these pre-made stems. And I just figured I'd make a video answering those questions and kind of showing what they are. I just want to be kind of clear what these are and what you're getting, and hopefully answer any other questions anybody else might have. And what they are is they are pipe stems for Missouri Meerschaum pipes. Now these are, like I said in my post, these are going to be an U finish stem. What I mean by that is this is about the same size, this one here, it's about the same size as a stock Missouri Meerschaum stem. The only thing is, what I mean by U finish is you can notice there's no taper and the slash ain't cut into it yet. So that's what I mean by U finish. You're going to actually have to taper them down, sand them, however you want to do it. The hole is drilled to fit a Missouri Meerschaum stem. Like here's one I have mocked up already with one of them, and I put the Missouri Meerschaum stem grommet on there. And they are drilled, so it'll take, this is the traditional stem that comes with them, and it will accept a freehand stem as well. These are the size of the shanks that go on to most of the generic, I shouldn't say generic, but more your run-of-the-mill, like the mid to large size. So like your Fifth Avenue, Washingtons, Rob Roy's, missing a couple other in there too. And then going up to like Country Gentleman and the Mark Twain. So it's going to be the size bits they're drilled for are the ones that come, that you can put the filters in. So hopefully that answers some question. The thing is, like I said, they are a U finish. So, and some of that is, one, because sometimes not all cobs will fit the same. Even though the holes are drilled the same, one might go in further, one might not. You might not want to do the amount of tapering they put on this. How they do that, it's tapered here and then it tapers down on this side. If you ever look at them real close. And this is kind of what they look like when you pull them out. So you're going to have to size them to your particular cob. So if they are a bit large, there's the stock hole. So they are a little bit larger in the hole. So you will have to sand them down and put that cut on them. And I know I'm repeating myself, but I just want people to know these aren't plug and play. You're going to have to do a little bit of work to them. But as far as the drilling for the stems slash bits, or yeah, on here for the bits, if they're Missouri Meerschaum, or stems if they're regular briar pipe, kind of trips me up sometimes. They are drilled for these, but you're going to notice the fit is a little tight, and that's kind of by design, so that, you know, every stem kind of fits a little bit, not necessarily different, but you get a loose one once in a while. But you can see they go in, they just don't go in all the way. It's not because they're not drilled to fit, it's just because I want to make sure they're tight. So you're going to have to probably do just a little bit of sanding to get the desired fit on your stem, well, and or bit. Some of it has to do with, sometimes there's flashing on the side of these, and sometimes they'll fit different that way. It's not going to take a lot. Like I said, they already fit in. You're just going to, it's a little tight, so they kind of go up to where it hits the flashing. So a quick way to do that is either roll up some sandpaper and kind of do that. What I have used in the past is a square file, one of those little square files, and kind of almost use it like a pencil sharpener or a rat tail file. It won't take much. They're fairly close, but I'd rather them be too tight and kind of make it fit to what the stem I'm using, rather than, you know, just a final dimension. Another, you know, because wood does move around, so, you know, if I were to ship them somewhere and they would either tighten up or not, depending upon the weather or whatever. So I mean, if that makes sense, I guess. But yeah, the other side does have the draft hole. One side has the recess for the drilling for that. So there are, right now I currently have a couple different sizes. I've been modding for a couple years now, but I figured this is a good way for somebody that wants to cob mod, doesn't have access to the tools to make their own shanks. So I figured, hey, I got some. I don't know if there'd be interest in them, so I figured I'd just throw it out there. Now, if there's a couple ways to get these down to where it tapers down depending on how much you want to taper it. If you want to do it enough to go into the cob and leave kind of a straight look, or you want it to just be more like the traditional looking stem itself. You can use a knife and you can kind of whittle it down if you want. Sandpaper works great if you want to sit there and sand it down. Otherwise, if you go and do a setup like this is just a cheap bolt from Ace Hardware with a big washer and a butterfly nut. And you can just put this in the drill and actually just take your sandpaper and just keep sanding it and check it. I use these little Phillips head kind of pan head bolts, mostly because it acts like a guide for me. I know you start getting close to the diameter of this head here. It's about the diameter. It's getting close. Once you get close to that diameter, you're getting close to getting about the size that needs to go in there. So that's a real quick way to do it, and just use some sandpaper in your drill. A lot of it's just keep price down, and for people that are do-it-yourselfers, you can do it yourself. Some examples. Otherwise, the other two sizes, I don't appear to have the one size. Hold on, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. We're filming out in the truck just because of the kids, and then the dogs are in the house, and heaven forbid anybody walk by, the dogs will go crazy. Anyways, the sizes I have right now that I am making, these are mahogany. Someone did ask if they can be made out of different kinds of wood, and the answer is yes. I've made them out of maple, oak. There might be another one in there. I might have done a cherry one at one point. I don't have a whole lot for exotics, but some of the exotics you got to watch out for. Some of those you don't want to be smoking a pipe through. But anyways, the size that I currently use a lot in my mods, this is a standard size, and the diameter of it's about the same as the stock Missouri Meerschaum stem. It just looks kind of bigger because it's not tapered, but the diameter is about the same. The other size I do is these fat shanks. I don't know what else to call them. Fat shanks. So there's a fat shank size in the stock Missouri Meerschaum length, which I believe is like, so these, the stock size is around 2 5/8, I believe, long. And the other size I do as far as length, these are the two diameters I do anyways. As far as length, and then I have this longer one. And, you know, so compared to the stock length, it's quite a bit longer. These are just over 3 3/4. So that just happened to be the size of what I laying around. Might be able to get them up to about 4 inches even, but right now I'm just going to do them at a little over 3 3/4 inch long. So they are a little bit longer than the stock length. So if you had like a bit for like a style, like a step bit that's on a Degner cob, you could almost do like a Lavat or a Canadian. I forget which one has the oval shank and one has the round shank, but something in that style if you wanted to. A couple examples. Someone might wonder why you want a fat shank like this, and there's a couple reasons why, and I'll show a couple examples where I use these. This is one I'm currently working on. This has the fat shank. I got it cut down a little bit-ish. You got to remember, because of this length, some of this has to go into the cob, but that's just one I've been working on. Kind of has that tapered shank, and then I have some acrylic on the end. Another one, so that's more of that flared kind of shank. The other ones you can do with them too are more of like, I don't know what else to call it, but kind of the beer bottle shape shank. So that's more of a beer bottled shank you can do with the fat ones by sanding them down. But the other thing also these fat shanks are great for is if you have a old vintage corn cob, which I got this one from a friend. He was at a flea market, and he sent me a picture, and a guy was selling a Dr. Grabo, it was a Grabo or a K. Woody. K. Woody was a white briar, and then one of these old Missouri Meerschaums. I have the stem; it's in the house, and a little old cigar box, and he got them both for $5. So this one is cracked, unfortunately, but still, it's a cool piece of corn cob history to kind of have. I forget what year this. I want to say the 50s, but I could be wrong. But if you have any of these old cobs and your shank is cracked and you wanted to kind of restore it, these fat shanks are not a bad option here. So you can see this one's been smoked the heck out of. But yeah, the diameter is not that much different. I'm sure it's pretty close if it's not tapered, if it was, this wasn't tapered. So yeah, if you wanted to build a replacement old time kind of looking, or you want to do a vintage style cob, you can find a way to drill this out to that massive hole and make a stem out of one of these fat shanks and put it in there. So that's kind of a use for that. Then this is one of my this is my Dagner cob I have. This has just that straight mahogany shank on it, like the standard size. So that's kind of what that looks like without the taper. It's kind of almost more straight. There might be a little taper down here, but for the most part, it's just a straight, instead of going kind of out and back in. I can't think of any other questions someone might have, but like I said, they do just kind of come raw with the pre-drilled hole for the stem and the draft hole, and you will have to sand them down to fit. And if you want to put a grommet on the end, you know, you want to do something like the stock Missouri Meerschaum grommet or any of this other stuff going on there, you'll have to do that yourself. So this is just basically a raw stem that allows you to do what you want with it, and that's a way to keep a price down. Maybe in the future I might do some maybe of these fat shanks that are maybe tapered a little bit, that give you an idea where you want to taper them. I might just do ones that are already done, might do a plug and play thing, but the more I do that, the more time involved in that, so I gotta charge more. So that is why I'm just doing it this way, to keep them kind of cheap. Right now for these in the mahogany ones, I believe I'm going to charge $8 for 2 of them, and that's $8 shipped. So $4 a piece ain't too bad, considering that a lot of cobs that get thrown in, you know, people put different shakes on, the price does get up. So as far as like the longer ones and the fatter ones, I don't know what I'll put on there for a price yet for these. But if you have any other questions, feel free to DM me or private message me. So hopefully I covered everything. All right, you guys, have a great weekend. Take some time to enjoy it before summer goes away. All right, talk to you later.